Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Helen and my channel name is Helen Anyango. If you are watching me for the first time, please do subscribe down below and get notified by pressing the notification bell so that when I post my next video, you will be the first one to know or the first one to get notified. And here I talk about my life journey in Iraq as a house manager. So get to know more about us domestic workers in Arab countries or in Gulf countries. And today I thought that maybe I should answer the most asked questions that people do ask me. Okay, so today's video will be about I'll be answering most of the questions that people do ask me. So stay tuned guys, watch me until the end and enjoy the video. Okay guys, so the most asked question that people do ask, and people are so curious about it every time. They ask me, why Iraq? Like, why did you choose Iraq of all the Gulf countries? Because you know, most of the things that we hear on social media about Iraq makes people feel terrified or make people be so afraid, because the social media mostly tells us about Iraq as a war zone, Iraq as an unstable country, you know. So we hear a lot of negative things about Iraq. So when you tell someone that you went to work in Iraq and you are in Iraq, they'll be like, why did you choose Iraq? You don't fear for your life. Why did you take so much risk to go in Iraq? Okay? Someone just even tell you could have gone to another country, it's much better. You could have gone to another country, it's much better, but Iraq, why Iraq? So today I'll be answering you the question. Okay, so when I was back at home, I was like, you know, our government back at home, thanks to the government, we have at least free education. Like when you for primary classes, you have free education, and for secondary school also, I mean the high school, it's much affordable because we have the bursaries and all that. So you get that now a lot of people are getting educated back in our country. There's a lot of people enrolling in schools. So the problem comes out. The problem comes in after school. What happens? You know. So after school, there's a lot of tarmacking. Like our government does not have enough jobs for us to contain all of us. You know. So you find that most of the people back in my country are educated to the secondary levels, some to colleges, but now what next after there? There's no jobs for everyone, you know, like the government does not have enough jobs for everyone. So you find out that life becomes much difficult. Life changes when you have finished your education. So that's what happened to me also, because after finishing my Form 4, I had to start looking for a job, you know. I had to start looking for any job that I could just sustain myself, like small jobs that I could get, which I did a lot of jobs, not just one. I was doing a lot of jobs, because you are here today, tomorrow you're in the next job, because like nothing was coming up, nothing was coming forth that made me get satisfied. Like, you know, just get money, the little money you have, it was just for feeding you, maybe just clothing you, and that's it, you know, paying the house rent, and that's it. So, and maybe I felt like, no, I cannot continue blaming the government for all this. I cannot also continue blaming maybe my parents or my family, you know, as a firstborn. I'm a firstborn from my family, so I could not continue blaming my family, like, you did not give us jobs, you did not create any job for us after we grow up or what. I said, no, I cannot continue blaming my family or my parents, okay, or the government. So I said I should do something for myself. After a long tarmacking and a long hustling back at home, nothing was coming forth. I could just feed myself, yes. I could just do small things, very small things for myself. But like saving money, doing big things that maybe I wanted to do, it was very hard, really hard. I hustled for so long, and nothing was coming forth. Just finding the money to eat, and that's it. So, and I was very desperate. Like I was very desperate for a job, for a better paying job. And you know, these house manager jobs don't require any certificate. Like they don't require any certificate. So one of my friends, actually two of my friends came here to Iraq before me. So they were here in Iraq and we were just communicating. So they were the ones who were telling me all about Iraq. They were telling me like, just come in Iraq, because I had that fear in me. I always had that fear that Iraq was not a good country because of the way we see from the social media, of the way we are told from the social media. So I always feared Iraq. But my friends were like, just come. Okay, just come. People here are a little bit different. You know, they're a little bit different, like in the way they treat their girls, in the way even they're dressing. They're not like though that's so much strict, you know, and they're just good. So it took me a while. It took me a lot of time before I really decided to come here, because I was doubting I was doubting so much, and I had fear a lot. So when I was told about Iraq by my friends, and they've been in Iraq for 3 years now. Those my friends, they have been in Iraq for 3 years. So I was like, this is now the chance that I only have. This is the job that I'm seeing that at least can change my life a little. You know, because I've been hustling, I've been doing minor jobs that were not really bringing anything up for my life. So I had to consider that this job about Iraq, I had to come to it. I had to just take the chance, because, you know, the agents that I went to look for a job, they were only offering Iraq jobs by that time. So I had to just take the job. It was like, I take it or I leave it. So I said, okay, I've been struggling so much. My friends are already there. They are doing good. Thank God they find good families. So let me also go and try my luck instead of staying behind and tamarking so much. And by that time before I came to Iraq, I had already my kids. So I was still looking for food for myself, feeding my children. It was a little bit so tough for me. So I had to change my life, my thoughts, and I said, let me take this chance and see how it will go. And here I am. I am still in Iraq, and I thank God, because since I came to Iraq, that was 2019 years. I thank God, because Iraq has been like a life changer to me. You know, we say that it depends with your luck, because some come here and they don't find it good. Some come here and get the best out of it, not only in Iraq but Arab countries. You know, we cannot say that everyone comes here and find bad bosses. It's just like back at our home, we have good people and we have bad people. You can even find someone back in our African countries that will still treat you very bad. So when I came here in Iraq, and these Gulf countries has changed a lot of girls' lives, especially the single mothers. You know, the single mothers are now educating their kids. They're now feeding their kids. They're clothing their kids, paying their bills. Some have become even landlords, landladies. I mean, some have opened business. I mean, this work in Gulf countries is really changing a lot of people's life. A lot of people's life have changed through these Gulf countries. So as Iraq came as the chance that I had that time, and I had to take it. And I'm still here until now. I thank God. It has not been so much easy, like flowing, but I thank God I've been able to stand until now. I'm now finished 2 years and some few months, you know. So that's how I came in Iraq, and that's why I chose Iraq, and that's why I'm still in Iraq. So the question number 2, I'll be reading it because I wrote them down to be able to answer all the questions, at least answer all the questions the way they are asked. So people do ask me, so you have been in Iraq for 2 years and like some months. Have you maybe ever changed your house, or did you just immediately find a good boss that you have stayed with since day one until now, or what happened to you? So I changed my house. I changed my house because the house that I came in the first time, it was not very good, not very good for me. I felt like I was not in the right place, you know. It was not conducive for me. like a lot was happening, a lot was just going there, and I felt like now even starting to get depressed. Like I was not very happy. I was not happy. I was not feeling like I need to go on with the job. So I had to consult my office and tell them this was what was happening, because even salary payment was a problem back in that house, and I was like so down. I was like so down. So when I came here, the house that I started working in is not the house that I finished my contract in. I had to change the house. You know, that's why I always say, when you come to any Gulf country and when you're coming to Iraq, please do a good research about the agency that is bringing you, the office that is bringing you. You know, we have a lot of offices that even if you tell them your problem, they will never respond. Or when you go back to the office, they'll still take you back to the same house that you had problems with, the same house that you maybe you got out of it when you want to get help in the office, which is very, very bad, because going back to the same house is really life-taking. It's a really bad risk. You can imagine you went to the office and you reported those people that they are treating you bad, maybe they are not giving you food, maybe they are delaying with the salary, and then the office takes you back to the same house. How will you be able to survive in that house now? Because they'll now torture you maybe twice the way they were torturing before. So I thank God for my office, the one that brought me. I spoke to them and I told them what I was going through. And every time that the boss in the office, or maybe the office manager, was always communicating to the person that had employed me. Every time he was calling him and telling him what's the problem, until I felt like, no, this is too much. I just need to leave. I just need to change the house. And I had to change the house, and now I'm in another house which is much better. I thank God so much. So when you guys want to come, maybe if you're a newcomer, just do a good research about the office. Let someone refer you to an office that brought her or him in these Gulf countries. Let someone refer to you to a good office, because we have offices that even when you go back to maybe to seek help in the office, they'll beat you up. Like they'll beat you up and even threaten you. You know, so you should look on that so much. Okay, my next question. How long does it take to come to Iraq? Me, it took like, by the way, coming to Iraq takes a while. It takes quite a long time, because these people, they have restrictions so much. It's not easy like you can say 1 month or 2 months. Mine took almost 4 months coming just to Iraq, because you know, their government here, they really take time to see what kind of girl you're bringing here, what is, and like they take a lot of time. Like maybe the agents have to be going to the government offices in Iraq, going to and coming from. You know, it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of time for you to get Iraqi visa. It really takes a lot of time, especially if you're coming from an African country. It takes quite a lot of time. So mine was not just like I do and I come immediately. I even almost gave up, because I was like waiting. So it takes quite a long time. Just say from 3 months there. Yeah. My next question: when are you finishing your contract? When are you coming back? Okay, like I said before, I have already finished 2 years. And what delayed me, because I would have already gone back home by very early this year, but what delayed me is the changing of the house. You know, when you change the house, it's like you now have to start afresh. When you change the house, you have to start afresh, because the second sponsor that will take you will say, we want her, but she'll now start a fresh contract. So that is what delayed me, and that is why I'm still in Iraq. But very soon, maybe by the end of this year, God willing, I'll be done with my contract, and God willing, I'll go back home. So yeah. Yeah, this one is just answered it in my first question. Like, people ask, is Iraq a war country? Like, are there bombings? Like, how do those people live? You know. So as for me, since I came to Iraq, a lot has not happened. Yes, things have been happening, but not like a lot, like something that can bring so much tension. You know, like something that can make the every airports be closed, no coming in, no going out. Maybe just this pandemic that was here, but just a little have been happening here and there, but not like what I see mostly is people. What do I say? Like maybe the teachers strike, going on strike. Maybe when they want their pay rise, those demonstrations. I only see demonstrations a lot, just like we see demonstrations back at our home. When we have teachers want their pay rise, the nurses want their pay rise. That's what I see mostly. That's what happens here. But when it comes to fighting, I don't know. Maybe it used to be when I was there. When I was not there, I cannot say much about it. But not much. I can say for me, the 2 years I've been here, I thank God because I've been safe. And the family that I stay with, all have been safe. So I cannot say that it's a war zone. Maybe it was a war zone there before, and since it was a war zone there before, that name still sticks until now. People just say it's a war zone, it's a war zone. They have never recovered a peaceful name like it is a peaceful country. But people in Iraq are good. Most of them, we have people in Iraq that are good, So, how's your Iraq agency? How's the office? Like I said before, my office very good, very, very good. Any girl that comes through this office, okay. So someone asked me, can you tell anyone or can you advise someone to come to Iraq? As for me, I can say come. If you have found a chance, if there's a chance and maybe you are tamaking back at home so much, you have not found a job, I can tell you come. Because, what we do is just putting all your trust in God. Pray and tell God to guide and lead you in wherever you are going. Because I believe that if you believe in God and you put God first, and you send prayers first to wherever you are going, all shall be well with you. It does not matter which country you are going. So if you have been, maybe if you're back there, you are looking for a job, maybe you have gone to the agents and they're telling you that the job vacancy is found that is now available is Iraq, just come. I was so fearful before I came to Iraq. Like even when I reached in Iraq, I stayed for quite a long time before telling any of my friends that I'm actually in Iraq. It took me quite a while to be able to be open and tell people that I came to Iraq, because I feared how most of the people will be telling me, so why did you go to Iraq? Giving me negative vibes. So I had to take time before I started opening up and telling people, you know what, I went to Iraq, I'm in Iraq. So that's how it is. So if you want to come to Iraq, just come. If you find a chance, just come. We have a lot of African girls in Iraq, not only Kenyans. We have Ethiopians, we have girls from Cameroon, Sierra Leone, every Uganda, Tanzania, every African countries. We have the girls here, Ghana. So don't be afraid, because you're not the only one who is coming here, and you just come. But what I always insist, that you come with a good office. Come with a good office. Make sure that your office that you come with, it will have a follow-up, and you have their contacts. In case you have any problem, just contact them. And you never know, you can come here, find a good boss. You can come here, find a bad boss, and that's where you can actually want to change the house. But always come with a good office. So if you want to come to Iraq, if that's the chance that you have right now, just come.